so you just need to put this under, we'll start with your right foot, and you're gonna place it right under the balls of your big toe, and just do a little side-to-side movement. So just kind of pivoting on the heel, and you can just relax your arms, and then I want you to just push some weight into the toes. So I'll turn to the side so you can just see it's more at the front end of my foot. And then relax, and then push it to the inside, about the upper arch of your foot. And just put some weight right there. And breathe. You can wiggle your toes, and then release some weight, and push back into that same spot. And maybe even go to the more of the inside arch of your foot. And as you do this, there's no right or wrong way, but I do want you to just find where you feel the most tension in your foot. We're gradually going to move the ball back towards the heel. And release. And shift your weight down. And release. And you may even feel a little stretch through the back of your calf. Try to keep your heel down. And release. And release. And now I want you to put your weight right at the beginning of your heel. And then do a little roll back and forth, maybe side to side. And then we're going to start that again. So we'll go back towards the toes, put some weight into the toes, grip your feet around the ball, and release the tension. And then shift the ball back and press down. And release. Another shift back. And release. We'll do a little test after this. I've been doing this like every day because my hips have just been extra tight, maybe from driving so much or sitting. And then I want you to just start to roll the foot over the ball back and forth. And even make sure you're getting the inside arch of the foot. But when we do the test, you should see a visual difference between the length of your arms when we roll down. And something about all the tension in your feet that we carry, it's all connected up through the chain towards the shoulders. So you might even feel a little bit looser down the side of the right side of your body. All right, and then go towards your heel and do little circles around the heel. All right, and then set the ball to the side, stand parallel, let your arms just hang right in front of your thighs, and then start to roll down. And once you stop, keep scooping the belly in. See if you can see the right side a little bit longer. I can see like my fingertips are an inch past the left. And I promise I'm not doing this with my shoulders. I'm just hanging out here. And then I want you to roll back up. And now stretch your arms up. Big inhale. And exhale, roll forward. This time see if you can go a little bit lower and just press into the heels, try to lift your tailbone. So I want you to just stretch the back of the leg. Your hamstring on the right side should feel a little bit longer. And then softly bend your knees, roll back up, and roll your shoulders back, and then we'll do your left foot. So again, we're going to just start by putting it right under the toes, and kind of grip your toes over, push through your heel, lean your knee forward, stretching the calf. And then when you're ready, move it on back a little bit. And just breathe, take deep breaths here. And release, and move it back again. And sometimes you might even find just like one little tiny spot that might just really hurt. Just try to sit into it and breathe through it and move it back. And then we'll start over, moving it towards the toes, push down, and release, and move it back, and release, push, and release. Back towards the heel, and just sit on it for a second, wiggle your toes, and then we're going to go back and forth, just kind of quick here. Get the inside arch of your foot, so angle the foot outward. You might even hear little pops. And then go side to side over the arch. And then place your heel on top and draw little circles around the heel. All right, and then set the ball to the side, stand parallel, and do your roll forward. Scooping the belly in, let your head fall heavy, and just glance at your fingertips. See if they are about even now. So mine have evened out, and they're a little bit longer on each side. And then softly bend your knees, stack the spine tall, reach your arms up, and roll forward. Now, I want you to walk your hands out towards the floor, and then bend your knees, push through your toes, press your heels down, and stretch your hips up. And again, we bend the knees, weight goes forward. Think about lifting your abs off of the thighs, lift your hips, push through your heels. One more time, bend and stretch. And soften your knees to roll all the way up and roll your shoulders back. Grab your roller. And we'll set that to the side. You're going to place the roller right out in front. Feet are still hip width apart, parallel. And I just want you to lean forward. So you might have to move it out a little bit more. I want you to let your chest just sink. Tailbone is lifting up. Push through your heels. Imagine you're being pulled from the back and you're trying to reach as far as you can through the fingertips. And really deep breaths here. Shrink up your waistline as you exhale, knitting the ribs together. And then soften your knees, roll the spine up, keep your head down, look at your thighs. And reach back out into your flat back. We're going to do 3 more of these. And take them at your own pace. Tuck your tailbone, round the back. And extend, reaching out. So make sure that we're articulating through the spine. And when you get to your flat back, you lift the tailbone, rotating the pelvis. All right, now as you stand up all the way, pull your shoulders back and take your feet out wide. So now we're turned out at just about second position. Same thing, we hinge forward, flat back. And this time keep your legs straight. Just shift your hips side to side. All right. And we're going to go back into those cat stretches. So round the spine up, scoop the belly, press those hips forward, and reach back out into your flat back. So you're almost coming up to a standing position. Hips are right under the ribs. You're still looking down, and reach out, long neck. Start to feel your outer thighs wrap around the backside as we lift. All right, and we'll do one more here. Find your flat back. Pause, and then bend your right knee, do a side lunge out to the side, reaching your arms to the opposite side. So you want to feel the rib cage really shift out. Your hips are drawing back, belly's pulling in and up. Come through the center, shift over to the left side, arms reach to the right. Try to really ground those feet to the mat and switch. And again, just work on deep breaths. And switch. Allow your chest to sink towards the floor. We have one more to the left. And come back to the center, cat stretch up. And then stack your spine tall, roll those shoulders back. And come back to a parallel stance. Hold your roller at hip level, shoulders draw back. Now we're going to reach those arms up, big inhale. Exhale the arms down. So think about if you were to stand up against a wall, the shoulders are retracting and they stay away from the ears. Push evenly through each end, through the fingertips. Just trying to wake up the rotation through our shoulders. And then even finding those back muscles to support the lift of the arms without popping our ribs forward and hips back. Right, now reach your arms up, bend your elbows, try to bring that roller behind your head without jutting your chin forward. You want to maintain a long spine and then reach the arms up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And just depending on your shoulder flexibility, the roller may not come all the way down. So I just want you to work on pressing those elbows back, opening your chest. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Abs are drawing in, ribs are closing. One more time, pause with the elbows bent. Look to one side, lengthen through your chin and look to the other side. And switch. And switch. One more each side. Deep breaths. Come back to the center, reach the arms up, bring the hands down, and take a big shoulder roll back. All right, now we're gonna take your roller to a diagonal. So I have my right arm up, bend your left elbow and press your right arm straight up. Inhale and float the arm down towards your hip. And exhale, press back up. So that left arm is just steering the top arm, but we're keeping it nice and straight as we lower. Shoulders stay back and lift. Inhale and exhale. Now don't forget about the back side of the legs. So we really want to activate those hamstrings to help you press your hips forward, squeeze your glutes. If you need a little more stability, you can take your feet out wide or stay in a narrow stance. All right, and then press towards your hip. With your bent arm, press the arm back. Keep your chest forward. Big inhale and exhale. One more. And exhale. Good, now we're gonna float the arm up to shoulder height. Turn your chest and gaze in the opposite direction. So just twisting, keeping that shoulder joint back. Wrap your elbow and your tricep towards the floor, helping you get a little more into the external rotation. You can see I'm still keeping it at chest level. And then we're gonna go straight up to the other side. Left arm is up. Big inhale, float the arm towards your hip. And exhale, press up. Inhale. And exhale. Find even pressure, pushing through each end, through the fingertips. Let's do two more. And exhale. And then pause at the hip. Press back and keep your chest square. You're just looking forward, wrapping the elbow towards the back. And then float the arm up in line with your chest. Press out. Turn your chest and gaze as much as you can to the other side. Wrap the elbow towards the floor. Keep drawing the belly in. And then bring those hands down. Take a big shoulder roll back. All right, now standing hip width apart, parallel. I'm going to turn to the side. You're going to reach those arms up and squat down. So make sure the hips go back as if you're aiming for a chair. And then bring the hands down to the hips as you stand up. So try to maintain the open chest and down. And if the overhead movement of the shoulder and arm is too much for you, you can go straight out in front and down. Inhale, exhale. Try to maintain a neutral spine. You're drawing the abdominals in, pushing through those heels to stand up. Inhale and exhale. Let's go 3, 2, hold low on 1, and now bend the elbows and press up. So it's a little bend. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Find those upper mid-back muscles. Get lower through the hips and squeeze the glutes. Make sure that your knees are not leaning over the toes. Your knees and ankles are in line. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring the hands down, stand up, and roll the shoulders back. All right, stand that roller out to the right side. Get an arm's distance away from you. Your left arm comes up. Side stretch over. You can tilt the roller, press into your outer hip. Feel your waistline lifting up. So that's what that support is here for. And then exhale, stand up. Bring the hand all the way down. Stretch up. Exhale, reach to the fingertips. Don't let this top arm bend. You're lengthening, lifting out of the hips. And all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. And exhale. Side stretches are my favorite. And we lift. Now take it to the other side. All right, so an arm's distance away. Big stretch up as you lift. Ribs are reaching up to the sky. Plant those heels down. And stack. Inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. And center. Let's do 3 more. Feel your bottom ribs drawing into the body. And with this arm on the roller, the hand you can press down with to give you a little bit more lift through the spine. Last one. And center. Now, I want you to bring the roller back into the hands and just try to keep that same lift of your spine as we reach up through both arms and side stretch over. So you have to find a little bit more support from the core and from the hips. Activate your glutes. Inhale up and exhale over. And you may not be able to go as far without that hand supported on the roller, but I really want you to feel that lift up and out of the hips. Let's do 1 more to the left. And center, hands come all the way down. Another big shoulder roll back. Now, take your feet to a standard squat position, wider than the hips, toes slightly turned out. Arms are gonna be right in front of the chest. Now squat down, reach those arms straight out, and lift up, bring to the hips. So same thing we did earlier, but now we have a wider stance. And you should feel a little bit more outer thigh as we lift and then wrap around the back side. And if you're working on your balance in your personal practice and you need a little bit more support, it's totally fine to take the roller out in front so you have something to touch and help you lift up by pushing down on. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Now come all the way down. We're gonna go up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Try to challenge yourself here. Hips are back, knees are over the heels. Good for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift up, arms reach up, and then we twist to the right, hips stay forward. Inhale, center. So exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. And twist. Relax the shoulders, keep them away from the ears. So you're putting the twist in the belly, right beneath your ribs, above the hips. Using those obliques. And we'll do 1 more each side. And center. Last one to the left. And center, hands come down. Big shoulder roll back. And then we're going to take your roller onto the mat. Just place it at the end where your head will be. Feet are going to be about inner hip width apart. And then I want you to place that roller right under your shoulder blades. So go ahead and stack those hands right behind your head. And make sure the hips stay down for a moment. I want you to just slowly inhale and arch back. Try to lengthen the back of your neck like you're tractioning the skull up and out. And then exhale, pull those ribs down, press your low belly into the mat. So we're coming into our C curve. Inhale, open the chest, reach back. And exhale. So I like to start this one pretty slow as we go into our extension. Especially in our head, neck, and shoulders, we can be really tight. So you just don't want to arch back and throw yourself into a quick back bend. Just warm those muscles up, opening up between the vertebrae. Right, now, come up into your C curve. Use the abdominals here. Press into your heels and hover your hips. Now, start to roll back and forth. You want to get from the top ridge line of your shoulder to about the bottom rib. Just careful not to go over the ribs. Scoot forward. And if you need to walk your feet in or if they get away from you, just bring them back in, push through those heels. Scoop your abdominals so you feel the engagement. Glutes are engaged. And now pause, take both elbows pointing forward, creating more space between the shoulder blades, and same thing, we roll back and forth. All right, now take your elbows back to a wide position and turn your knees and yourself over to the right side. Now you can adjust, just make sure you're right in the center. All right, and we're just stacking on top of this bottom hip. Obliques are lifting, just like when we're doing our sideline kick work. Now I want you to twist and open your chest towards the ceiling. Inhale back to center. And you may have to adjust. We all have like a different pressure point here. So you want to be kind of at the tip of your shoulder blade, maybe your bra line, or right under your arm. Wherever you feel the most tension is where we're aiming to roll it out. And if this movement just feels way too much, then I want you to just slow down and just hold it wherever it feels tight. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Maybe go back an inch. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Another inch. So you can get your knees to stay glued together. So you're putting the rotation in your thoracic spine and center. Right now, this one's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's productive discomfort. So you're gonna point your bottom elbow forward, that top elbow can stay up, and then you're just gonna roll back and forth, kind of pushing into your heels. If you can lift your hips, you don't have to lift them high, but just enough to give you space to roll. And so I'll sit up and show you kind of where I'm aiming for is right under the shoulder, where your arm head goes into the shoulder, and we're just trying to roll all this out. So we can get really tight there. And lots of lymph nodes under our arms. So it creates a lot of lymphatic drainage. So drink a lot of water today. All right, and then go ahead and come back to center. And take a stretch over the roller. We'll do 2 more here. Inhale. Exhale, belly presses down. 1 more time. Reach wide through those elbows. And center. Good. All right, now go ahead and sit up. I'm going to turn my roller to the other side just so you can see as I talk through it. But we're going to come on to our left side now with your knees pointing forward, right on your hip. Elbows wide to start. Now try to keep those knees glued together and just do a little rock back and forth. You may have to adjust and find that sweet spot. And just breathe through it. Inhale and exhale. And then just like we did on the other side, if you need to just hold in one particular spot, take a couple deep breaths. When you're ready, go an inch back. Deep breath. And another inch. And breathe. And back to center. And right now, we take the bottom elbow pointing forward, so you can just wiggle back and forth, pushing over that roller. And if it's extra tight, you may just need to hold it and breathe into it. So just try to hover those hips or push into the feet. All right, we'll do a couple more pushes. And then go ahead and come back to the center. Then sit up, and you're going to place that roller, you're going to sit right on top of it, and have your feet as wide as your mat, and knees kind of tracking over the toes. Bring your hands back behind you. This is a feel-good moment, so just hands are there for support. You're just going to tuck your pelvis, so tailbone is curling under, and you're rolling over your glute max. So the big muscle in the back. Knees are forward right now. And then I want you to take both knees over to the right side. So we're going to roll the outer right hip. And I still have both hands down, but if you want to get really onto that outer right hip bone, you can take this left hand off the floor and turn and place it out in front of you. And you can even get up to the top ridge of your pelvis and all the way down to your sits bones. So still just pushing into the heels. If this is too much weight, if you're on your side, you can use one hand and push into the roller and try to lift a little bit of weight out using your arms. All right, we're going to come back to the center and then sway the knees over to the left side. option to take that back hand, your right hand up, place it on the roller, and get onto the outer left hip bone. From the top ridge of your pelvis towards your sits bone is where we're aiming. All right, now go ahead and come up to a seated position. We're gonna sit right on top. If you need to sit on a pillow for this, we're not gonna be rolling, so it's just there to lift our hips. You're gonna take your feet out wide. You can keep the knees bent as wide as your mat. Reach your arms forward, palms flip to the floor. Now try to stack up as tall as you can. Pull your shoulders back. Take an inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Round the upper back, reaching forward through the fingertips. And then stack back up. Inhale, tall. Exhale, chin to chest. Round the upper back. Now round the mid back, reaching a little bit further. Pull the belly in, and then exhale, stack up. So we're trying to get a little bit further. I want you to imagine there's a beach ball in your lap. We're going up and over your beach ball. So you have to flex through the spine, rounding forward. Lengthen the back of your neck. And exhale, lift up. So if you were up against a wall, your low belly is trying to stay connected to the wall as much as possible. That's where your stability and support is coming from. The low abdominals. Inhale, tall, and exhale, round forward. Okay. Now, option to take a little more hinge at the hip. So still get some flexion, rounding the spine, and then reach out even further. Tuck your pelvis back under, stack back up, and we'll do that one more time. So rounding forward over your beach ball. Now squish your beach ball, hinge at the hips. And lift. Bring your hands down for a second, roll your shoulders out, and then we're gonna go into a side-to-side movement. So let's have your hands stacked behind your head. Inhale, tall, and then exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. And center. And switch. Grow taller through the center with your inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Now add a little pulse. We twist, big exhale for 3, 2, 1, and up. Exhale, pulse 3, 2, 1, and lift. Good. Now narrow those elbows, round your chin to chest, and just gently tug the back of the neck, keeping a flat spine. So we're just aiming to stretch the back of the neck and even create like a little push and pull between your hands and the base of your skull. So push up with your skull and down with your hands. Drop those shoulders and lift. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Find that push and pull. Drop your shoulders. Draw the ribs and abs in. And lift. And then reach your arms out to a wide V. Nice tall spine. Ribs are pulling in as if you're up against a wall. Twist left. Now reach forward. So that back arm wants to lift up. You're relaxing the neck. And we stack back up. Twist and reach. Belly is pulling in. Low belly still wants to connect to the wall behind you. Follow your back arm with your gaze. So we're not holding any tension in our neck. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And lift. Bring those hands down. Big shoulder roll back. And then we're just going to crisscross your legs. I'll turn to the front. All right. And if this is more comfortable with your feet out wide, you can stay there. I just find it kind of gives your hips a different position to sit in for a moment. Hands are going to stack right behind the base of your skull. Lengthen up. We're tractioning the base of the neck upward. Now inhale. Exhale, side bend. Keep your sits bones planted on the roller. Lift back up using the abdominals. They're pulling in. We round up and over. Stack back up. And switch. And switch. Imagine you're being pulled up through the elbows. So we're getting a stretch all through the lats, under the arm, through the side of your body. Stack up with your inhale. And exhale over. And we'll do one more each side. After this one, inhale tall and exhale over. Good, last one. All right, and bring those hands down. Go ahead and scoot that roller forward where your feet are. And we're gonna lay it all the way down. All right, so make sure you have enough room to push out. I need to scoot back a little. All right, so your knees are bent. I want you to find your neutral pelvis. Remember, that's where you have a little space under the small of your back, and your hip bones and pubic bone are in the same plane. So if you want to frame the pelvis for a visual, create a triangle. Heel of the hand on the hip bone, pubic bone, your fingertips will overlap on top of. Take a deep breath, and then exhale, tuck your pelvis. Eliminate the space under your low back. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, scoop the low belly in, and release. Let's do 3 more of those. Try to pull your heels in towards you so that your roller doesn't get away from you. That'll also help you fire the back of the thigh. Last big pelvic tuck, and release. Good, maintain your neutral, keep that small under your back, small space, and then press your feet out. So you're rolling over the roller with the heels and pulling back in. And press out, and in. So having your hands on your hip bones, you can get a little feedback from your own body and just see maybe if you hike one hip up, or if you like shift sides as you reach the legs out. And we want to find as much control from your abdominals and from your glutes to help you stabilize the pelvis and just mobilize the legs. All right, we'll do one more push out. And then turn your feet out and butterfly the knees as you pull in. So the knees are reaching outward, and we kind of are rolling on the outer arch of your foot. Now, if external rotation is not accessible for your hips, just go back into the parallel position. And we just want to keep the pelvis still and try to create a little weight through the knees as you pull in. So let them feel heavy with gravity's weight. Inhale and exhale. Hopefully you're feeling your hips start to loosen up, your hip flexors relax. Feel your glutes still wrapping around, squeezing and supporting the opening up of our hips. All right, now press out. Turn your feet to parallel, pull the knees in. We're gonna do big circles. Now your knees open wide. You press out, turn to parallel, pull the knees in, open the knees wide. Press out, parallel, pull in, pause, reverse, press out, turn the knees out, and pull the knees in, back to parallel, and press, turn out, pull, last one. We press out, turn the knees out, pull in, and zip together. Now, place your arches right on top, inner hip width apart, push down through your arms, tuck your pelvis, and start to roll your hips up to your high bridge. And then roll the spine down. Now, if this is really challenging for you, loose the roller. Keep your feet on the floor nice and flat. And down. We're scooping the belly in, finding a flat line from shoulder to knee at the top. Close your ribs if you're shrink wrapping or putting a corset on. Lower down with control. Let's do 2 more. Scoop, squeeze your glutes, press the hips up, and down. Last one. We're pausing at the top. Now, option to hold here for your challenge. Make sure those heels pull in, or add your dips, down and up, little dips. Squeeze the back thighs. Make sure your pubic bone is lifting up and down. Go for 5. Push through your arms. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll your spine down. Now stretch those legs out. Stretch your hamstrings. Pull your toes back. Flex your feet. And then point the toes. Flex. And point. Think about rolling through your feet. So you're kind of articulating, wiggling those toes. And then pause. Pull your knees in. And then we're going to flip keeping your heels together and toes apart in a standard Pilates V, or for a little more back support, you can take your feet out wide. So arms are gonna reach out, creating a wide V with the arms. Turn your palms up. Take your forehead towards the floor. And then doing a shoulder shrug, you're just gonna draw those shoulders down the back and relax. Then I'm looking up at you, but I want you to keep your forehead, try to keep it on the mat. And just find the energy of your lats engaging, your ribs are pulling together, abs are pulling in, and you're shrugging those shoulders away from the ears. And now we add on, coming into an extension, find that same energy, pull your shoulder blades back and together. Now lift your gaze up the wall in front of you and come back down. And so inhale, lead with the crown of your head. Pick your breastbone up off the floor. Press down through the arms to lift your chest. And lower. And if this is too much on your shoulder, keep your hands by your side and just do a little baby swan today. So working on the extension between the shoulder blades, your upper mid-back, and down. Then inhale, start to pick up even more, and lower down. Our goal is to see how long we can get our spine as we lift, not how much can we back bend. So that's why you want that gaze forward as you come up. Feel your glutes active as we lift. Scoop the belly, tuck your tailbone to your feet, and down. Last time we inhale up, exhale lower, and then push back into a child's pose. Take your knees a little bit wider than the hips, and you're just gonna press back, tuck your tailbone to your feet. Try to walk those fingertips out. Walk your hands to the right side of your mat. Shift your weight to the left hip. And then over to the left. Shift your weight to the right hip. All right, now come up onto your hands and knees and grab your roller. Place your hands on top. We're going to do a little shoulder stability work. So it's a small movement, but very effective. I want you to wrap your elbows and your triceps around the arm bone towards your body so you feel this connection under the arm. Okay, now, roll your wrist forward. Use your abdominals to support the spine, and then pull your wrist back under the shoulders. So your weight goes forward and back. Good, and if you need a little more weight in your legs, you can just shift your knees back, or your hips back over the knees. It's gonna be more challenging to keep your hips up. You have to use more abdominal work. Try to keep the wrap of the tricep. And it doesn't even have to be this big. It could just be a micro movement that you're not seeing a lot, but you feel where we're working is under the arm here. Keep your chest puffing up between the shoulder blades. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, go ahead and roll the roller out. Push your hips back. Find a stretch through your hips, through the fingertips. And let your chest just relax here. If you want to do a little pulse up and down, you can do that. And then tuck your tailbone and roll the spine up. Roll your roller in. And come to a kneeling position and roll those shoulders back. All right, and then we're gonna set your roller to the side. I'll put mine over here. Place your hands on the mat, and then lift your hips to your downward dog. Just push your hips up. Push your heels down. And then bring your knees back down. So try to find that same energy that we just prepped of the wrap of the arm. We curl the toes, lift your hips, press your hips high, push through the heels, and lower back down. 2 more. Press up, flat back, and down, and 1 more. All right, now coming on to onto a kneeling position. Your right foot comes forward into a lunge position. Slightly tuck your pelvis. If you need something to hold on to, your roller is there. You can use your hands here and just have a little more stability. But I want you to really tuck the pelvis under so you're extending your left hip flexor and lean your hips forward. So we still want the knee over your foot. So if you need to hop this front foot forward to stay in alignment, do so. And then come back up onto your high kneeling position. Again, we lean forward and lift. 2 more, press and lift. Make sure you're squeezing this back glute as we hinge forward. And pause. All right, now bring your hands to the floor, straighten your front leg, and just relax your neck here. See if you can drop your right hip. Naturally, we want to hike it up when we do this stretch, but pull those toes back. Take a deep breath. Keep the abs scooping in. And then come back up onto your kneeling position. This front foot is going to hop outside your mat and lean out to the edge. Again, you can hold that roller if you need to. And center. And press out. Option to bring your hands to the floor. That's an option. Or even just rest your hands on your thighs as you hinge out. Squeezing this left glute still. One more time, we press out to the side. And center. Bring your knees together and then step your left foot forward. Same thing on this side. So you can bring those hands on top. Lean forward. Tuck your pelvis under. So abs are lifting as if they're going through the ribs. And back. And lean into it. Keep those shoulders back. And up. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Squeeze the back glute. Push through this front heel. Make sure your knee is tracking in line with your hip socket. And up. Good. All right, now we shift our weight all the way back. Hands come to the mat. Flex your front foot. Square the hips. Drop into this left hip. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders. Scoop the belly in. And breathe. One more deep breath. Plant your foot down. Lift up. And then hop your left foot out to the edge of your mat, turned out. And same thing, we reach out to the side. And center, pushing back. Option to hold that roller for a little more stability. Good. Now make sure your knee doesn't turn inward as we go out and in. Keep pressing it back. You can even put one hand here for a visual. Last time, we push out and back. And then bring your knees together. Place your hands on the floor. And then we're gonna come into a downward dog in order to stand up. Find your stretch. Option to bend your knees a little bit and walk back towards your feet. Let your head hang. Tuck your chin and chest as you roll up. Your head is the last to lift. We roll those shoulders back. And then take those feet parallel. Reach your arms up into a high V. Side stretch up and over. Let your bottom arm fall. Reach through this top arm. Hopefully you feel longer through the sides. And we come up and switch. Bring those hands up and then take a big circle back for 3, 2, and 1. Reverse for 3, 2, and 1. And you are done. I hope you enjoyed the foam roller class. And if y'all have any questions, just let me know.